Hello guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my Songs of Syx playthrough series. So, coming back from episode 2, we have started to expand our fields westwards towards the coast. We're getting another fruit farm, we're getting a grain farm built, and then to support this we are getting our longhouses made. Because remember, houses that are too far away just simply will not be lived in by the people who work on these areas. So, we need to provide services over here, we need to provide housing. And speaking of services and housing, the next thing I wanted was this one thing. Entertainment, eatery. So I'm going to put one over here close to all of these jobs. And we just need the pottery, because we've got furniture coming in slowly, very slowly. We have none actually stocked up. Okay, I'm not sure why. We've got a space 255, I'm not sure why there's not much stocked up, but I'm going to turn I think the workload is low here. I've got plenty of wood, it's not like the wood's limiting them, but I'm going to up this to 10 and see if this number keeps going down. Because obviously, this is what I'm just reading there, just to double check, is yeah, the higher that, if that number's 100%, it means your people have too much to do. But this number's getting lower and lower, so they have less to do. But I don't understand why there's only 6 workers when I've got, about 12 workstations. Why would that be low? Doesn't make much sense. But I'll put it to 10. Because I've had this glitch before where it says the workload's really low, but then if you keep upping it, it actually then sort of sorts itself out. Very strange, but apart from that, we just need clay. And I said I'd start to export food, grain, or maybe fruit, or whatever, on the market to get some coins in. We could use to then buy in goods that we either need for one-off constructions, or to maintain us, like bread. Pottery, it's not pottery, sorry, clay. A little bit of storage there, we can see it's very, very cheap. So if I get an eatery down, it would tell us how much of it we need, and then I can buy that much in. So where do I want it? I've got my little gathering space here, and I sort of want to feed the little pops that are at the gathering space. So I'm going to put a nice big one, because the bigger they are, the more service it can output, which means that it, more people can use it. So if we then, I can get these nice big ones here. I can get 2 big ones, and then yeah, 1 here. Brilliant. So that's utilised a really good amount of space here. Because the bigger it is, the more efficient it is, because it needs less. Because if you see for this one, which you can see, it has well, actually no, for this one it's not a good example, but for definitely some, you are utilising more space. Because you see the little squares, you need less for the amount of crosses you get. Not sure if that makes any sense, but basically yeah, you are getting more use out of it. So with that, I'm going to add some doors up here, and then on this side as well. So 38 clay, lots of wood, we have the wood. So 38 clay, let's buy in 40 in a special order. Just want a man that can barely even select it. Here we go, 200 coins, buy in. So that should arrive hopefully quite soon. And in the meantime, we'll get making this, and I'll build some lovely roads just around it. One other thing I'm doing is I'm going to say wood. I'm going to give them a little bit of wood. So you can see here, that number is now going up. And you'll see our number rapidly plummet as more and more people get wood. Because we always have a little bit of wood in stock. And just getting that little bit of wood there will mean that I get a bit of furniture value, which increases people's happiness. And I'm always finding that I'm just having loads and loads of wood. In the warehouse, I'm always full. So, now see here, this is all built. We're just waiting on clay. So hopefully that will arrive soon. Looking at this, I don't have enough cut stone to upgrade. What happened to my cut stone and my... right, I'm going to buy some more cut stone in. I should go out and buy... maybe not 40, we don't need that much. I think... well, how much is it actually for this? It's 12, so let's just buy in exactly 12. No, sorry, we've got a well here, which needs it as well. We're buying 16. Okay guys, so now with that grain farm out, we actually have no workforce. Not a major issue, because the workforce... oh, I see why all my cut stone's going. All my cut stone has gone into making the stage. So that is why we have not... that isn't why we haven't had enough to upgrade these buildings. So I'm actually going to buy in the rest of this. So that would be... what, 40... sorry, 54? Quite expensive with the amount of stone. Let's have a look how much that's going to cost me. 54 3.3k. Or by ink, with this massive stage here, that's basically going to fulfill all our housing at the moment. It's going to give us a massive service boost. We can already see that we're actually hitting over this. So let's go to 200 people now. We've got 109, that's sorted our workforce problem. So now we're getting more and more people in to work our jobs. And there's a lot of jobs I want to go for. Obviously I want to get more farming to exploit all this fertile ground over here, which as I said before, I can export it, or I could increase the amount of food we give our people. But humans are quite good at research. I say quite good, they're absolutely amazing at research. And research is really, really important to start spending our tech points on some useful things here. So again, getting more efficient farming, which again means we get more money, getting more services, or getting something like a graveyard burial to provide people happiness. Or we can put it into stuff like carpentry to get more efficient carpentry workers. But humans aren't the best at refining. You can see here, bakery, they're just bang average with a yellow hammer. Crafting in the carpentry, if I can get that up, is, yeah, again, bang average yellow. So my thought is we do want to get stuff like furniture, rugs, or fabrics, sorry, not rugs, pottery to give to our people to get them happier. But I'm debating whether I produce it myself or if I just massively go into farming on all the fertile ground, and then just sorry, going back to this. Yeah, look at this. I've now gone up from 6 to 10. This number's gone up to 100%. So yeah, my theory was right. But that furniture is needed to make the stage here. But anyway, yeah. So I think farming is where I'm going to have to go, because I don't want to have my people making loads and loads and loads of as carpenters making loads and loads of furniture, when I can have them getting more work output as farmers and then just sell the farm produce. So it's something to think about. I'm used to a very, very different game to this, and it's a little bit different in how you have all the economics of it. Yeah, I'll experience it as we go along. Okay, so it's a little extreme, but I'm going for an absolutely massive grain farm here. You can see it sprawling all over it into the water. Well, we're going to turn this shallow water, this lighter coloured water, into farmland, and then this deeper water we obviously can't build on. And then it's also hugging this entire coast all the way up to the north. So this is massive. We're going to have probably 20 workers here. With that, because again they're quite far away, we probably will need to have some houses sort of expanding up into this area up here, which again just means more services. I will see if I can get away with having the houses here cover them. I think it will, because assuming the game connects it as like, see where it just clips here into that farm, that should be fine. But I don't know if the game will decide that actually if some workers are on this far corner up here or up here, it might not be as efficient. I don't know, but I think some houses here will cover it. So I want to get this area more developed with an eatery, with some lavatories, with all of that, and then I can expand then to the last corner of the water. That's this whole, or what was like a big or small lake, has then been fully turned into this farmland. So from my study of the markets, I think in the previous episode, we did see that apples, or again fruit, is by far the most efficient one to export. We get 16 coins per apple, and for every apple we get 2 grain. So grain is still selling at, actually gone down from 6 to 5. So apples is a nice profit over the grain. In fact, by a massive amount. Sorry, I wasn't even clocking that. You get what would that be? 10 wheat, and you get 15 per apple. So you're getting a third more money from selling fruit. So I made a massive wheat farm here, but the next ones are probably going to go into just apples. But I believe they're down the same. That's the wrong one. The same tree, research tree. We come up here. Yeah, they are. So we've got edible crop optimization here. But then we do have to actually just to switch. But one thing that I completely forgot about is fruit orchard. I completely missed it. The one down here, I should have actually put a fruit orchard here, to be honest with you. On these waterbeds, no, because it's a bit too spatial efficient. But yeah, I should have made a fruit orchard here. Basically, a fruit orchard is a normal fruit farm, but you build trees instead of just planting fruit seeds. The trees obviously take a long time to grow, but once they're fully grown, they produce much more fruit per worker, per square area than the fruit farms do, so they're more efficient. But you need massive open spaces that are nice and uninterrupted. So I could actually maybe get some up here in this massive space here. But again, the problem is that's really, really far away from all my housing, so I definitely need a whole new village centre if I wanted to do that. So I think I'll let them go for the time being. Looking at fertility, don't know what the optimal fertility in this game actually is. I don't know if maybe 60% onwards is pretty decent. I don't know if you only want to be building on like 75, 80% onwards. I really, really don't have a clue. I always just go with my gut and looking at the surroundings. And see here, like this is all 86, so a farm here would be good. Whereas, you know, down here where it's 46, well, I'm definitely not gonna go on 46. So I just try and stick to the lightest areas. But on some maps, you might find that everywhere is 46 or 50%. But stop talking about that. Let's talk about this. Your level has been bestowed upon your name, Sheriff. So we've now unlocked all the justice buildings. So the guard post dungeon, scaffold slaves, and stocks. And we get slightly more happiness. And now we can get one noble. So let's get the nobles. I'm going to take Lilia Dalif. Hello. Right. Elevate. Master of the farm. So literally just like that. I haven't had to do anything else. I get someone who now gives me 10% bonus to all my farm productions. It's a very new, I believe it's a new feature, like in the last update or the other update before that. And it hasn't been fleshed out at all. I'd assume later on that you need to actually give these people privileges, like better housing, or give them goods, or whatever. Currently in the game, I don't think there's anything like that. You literally get your noble, and that is it. Yeah, it's very work in progress. But hey, I'm not going to complain. We now got 10% better farming. So that is good stuff. We now going to output more. And outputting more is something I want to do. We're now at 29 workforce. So obviously once we get this farm here, and get this farm here, that workforce is going to drop. But as we're getting more food, we can support more workers. So I might as well start planning out even more farming for when we do. And I am thinking about actually, if it would be small, I could get my fruit farm here. Because I'm only going to build a normal farm here. Sorry, a fruit orchard here, I mean. So I'm only going to build a normal orchard here. A normal farm here. So let's just see. That is where actually I'd want to decrease it by 1. So if we... I should have probably remembered exactly where I put it. If we do that... Okay, right. Be back in a moment once I've set this all up. Okay, there we go, guys. I've absolutely min-maxed this. I've got the perfect placement of trees here so that I get, you know, the absolute max amount of trees. 400 apples at 78% facility. With about 30 farmers, we're going to get 74 apples per... Well, that's the estimate for the daily output. But 400 apples, bosh. That's going to be a lot of work. We need to get 400 apples. Harvest has just come in. And we've got around 350 apples. They're obviously going to be they're going to be a couple more seasons to fully get this, but we can always buy some in if we absolutely need to. And with grain, so let's actually I keep yapping, but an important thing is a warehouse near our farm. So this grain one isn't too far away. Oh, sorry, there's fruit one and there's grain one, but I feel like a nice central warehouse here that will then later on cover, you know, this area of farming, quite important, because a lot of time is going to have to be spent to wander all the way over to this side of the map to get the food. Whereas if the farmers, you know, once they've done their harvest, can just dump it really, really quickly, I can have dedicated workers who are the ones who actually move it across, not the farmers wasting their own time. So I'll get a small warehouse. If we go to infrastructure, logistics, and then warehouse, like I said, something very, very small, nothing crazy. Let's see how much this can fit in. Again, nothing crazy. We've got this one here. Actually, no, I'm gonna expand it by 1, because if we expand it by 1, we should be able to get all of these as the big ones. So if we have another go at that, there we go. So now we've got these big ones. We'll be getting the most out of the space, and I'll just build a door here. Brilliant. There's another small little warehouse I can get. For now, just 1 worker on it, bringing the food back. But later on, I can expand it. And that then at least hopefully saves a little bit of time. Again, not at the moment, not too much, but in the future, once we expand our farming more west, it will. Oh no, I do not want to do that. Right, I think that's all I can really do for now. I need to just get my farming developed. We've got 34 workforce now, so things are getting better. Looking at other things over here, meat. I'm going to start, sorry, not meat, leather. I'm going to start selling leather. So I'm going to set up my first export spot. So if we come to infrastructure, logistics, export, and I'm going to have it right next to my warehouse, because again, these are going to be the people who, you know, well, not the warehouse workers, but it's people assigned to my exporting who are going to be keeping track on that. So if it's miles away from my warehouse that's storing leather, that's obviously going to be pretty inefficient. So let's get them here. I'll build just a couple because, oh sorry, a few, because I do want some for other resources. But we'll only have one for now working. Basically, what this is doing is now when I want to trade, instead of having to keep clicking on here and then going, oh, I want to sell some leather, sell, I'm now creating an export depot where a worker will come pick up the resource, that's in this case the leather, and he'll stock it up here. And then every time my stocks hit a threshold which I set, it will sell the leather. Because we're not using anything for leather, all that's happening is we're getting minus 10% loss every year. And if we have a look here, you can see here minus 2 spoilage, minus 3 spoilage, minus 3 spoilage. So it's very, very, very trivial, but that's still, oh, how much is leather? Leather is 59 coins. So we then have lost, what that'd be, 8 times 60. That'd be about, what, 480 or something like that. Oh, this is terrible. 480 something, 500 coins you just lost because it got spoilt. So I don't want the leather. You make it into leather clothes, and do you know what? I couldn't really care less about leather clothes at the moment. So I want to dump it, get some money from it, buy in some bread. With more bread or more food or whatever I buy in, I can up rations, or I can even buy in clothes. How much do clothes cost? Let's have a quick look. Clothes cost 95. But if I look, I bet you it costs quite a lot of leather to make clothes. You can see here, look at that. It costs 3 leather to make 1.1 clothes. Well, you don't need to be an expert at maths to do 3 times 60 and then minus the cost of clothes to find out we actually make a profit by just selling the leather instead of having to turn it into clothes. So if I wanted to, I could just sell all the leather and buy in my clothes. Exact same with the grain. We've actually discovered that it's more efficient to produce the grain and sell it and buy in bread than it is to produce the grain and make bread. It doesn't make any sense. The game's very odd in that way, but again, you have to discover these things to then make the most profits. Okay, so one thing I've just noticed is when I expand out this housing all the way like this, do you see how isolation is still at 100%? Even though I said that if you build over the walls, like you lose the isolation. Yeah, I'm trying to find a spot where I can demonstrate it, but if I come back down here and then show me building here. Okay, now I'm just confused. I swear the isolation was going down before when I've shown this. Yeah, here we go. So now it's going down. It doesn't actually go down if you connect them. I'm actually going crazy. I swear that was the case. But if it's not, well, then I've discovered that I can build them as big as I want, get the most efficiency out of the space, and actually not lose anything from it. So here we see. So yeah, this is where I am confused, because look, you are seeing it. Brilliant. We now employed over 25 in our fruit farms. And as a result, we get 8%. So that is the thing in this game. Every time you hit these little milestones of 25 people employed in a building, and then I think it's 50, and then I think it's 100, you get these performance boosts. So it is really important to specialize in this game, because obviously you're getting these boosts, and then you can go into the research tree and obviously specialize there. So specialization is key in this game. But yeah, so you see here, it is showing the 100%, and then if I come here, it's showing 51 because, you know, the wall's missing. I demonstrated this, I think, in episode 1. But then I don't understand why individually it isn't doing that, because if I then come here, yeah, so it isn't doing it there. Okay, very, very strange. Very, very strange. Brilliant, 25 in our grain farm as well. Okay, well, either way, boom. There's our houses. That's 60 residents. So we've already got 30 homeless. It's only going to give us 30 extra. But I'm happy with that. That's then also going to provide for these top farms here. And then these ones. What's fertility like? I didn't even bother to check. What's fertility like here? Crap. But we can get some production builders set up here. We can sort of push the town up a little bit. Because the thing is, in this game, services run out so quickly. Like, oh, our eatery's done. But if we look at our eatery, we can already see, yeah, this is doing fine. It's only got 24% load. But if we look at like the speakers, they're almost maxed out. The well's almost gone. This well's actually got no load. So you can see that you do need lots of services anyway. So you need to be just spreading them all out. Still helping us. Oh, but brilliant. We've got our stage set up. We've got our wells upgraded, our hearth upgraded, lavatory upgraded. We do need another lavatory. We can see services lavatory is only at 76%, but now quality isn't the defining factor. It's access and proximity. But what I don't like about this game is it doesn't make it very, very, very clear of where people are that are missing out on the service. Like, I can't tell here, is it these people working up here? I assume it is. Is it these people working over here? I assume it is, but the game doesn't tell me. With homes, it does, because you can actually see, and you can actually click this button, and it takes you to people who are homeless. And in this situation, we can just see it's because we don't have enough homes. But with proximity, you can't really tell very easily. I think it's just judgment. Unless there is a way, and if there is, please comment down below. I'd love to be educated on this game a bit better. But we do need more lavatories. So let's get one over here to service these farms, and also service people living in these homes. So that's going to be Elf, I believe. Elf lavatory. And then we'll get one here. Get quite a big, long one. To get the latrines like that, the sinks like this. Here we go. Can't go any smaller, but that is absolutely fine. Actually, can I fit more in by going like this? No, I can't. So what I'm just gonna do is expand it. So one, do a latrine, and then I'll up this basin to the 4. There we go. So there's 54 furniture, but we've actually got 82 because we've been stocking up. So, amazing stuff. So we can see here our export depots are ready. They all had actually employed one worker automatically, which is obviously not good because it's a waste of a worker. But in this one that has got a worker, I'm going to set this to leather. And I'm going to say export 95. No, I'm just going to set 100% of a warehouse, because if I want to simply get a bit of leather stored up, I'll just simply set the exports down so we keep a bit. Because otherwise, like I said, we're going to get our spoilage, so we might as well export all of it. I'm also going to up the leather here, because it was actually running over. We can see here it's getting filled up. So the little piles of leather, that one guy is going over, picking up the leather. Got a little wheelbarrow full of leather. And the thing is, because it's so close, he can fill it up really, really quickly. So that is all done. That's brilliant. And our farms over here are doing good. We've got our 2 new farms here. We've got our new grain farm over here. And the workload thing can be fun in this game, because it's saying it's 55% workload, yet the game's automatically said that 16 people is what is needed. So I don't really understand it. I'm going to decrease it, because it is saying there's a little bit of workload. Like, if we do that, the numbers sort of should correct themselves, but I don't know. The game always confuses me. Like, this one's at 100%, so I'm going to up it to 17. Then this one's at 77% with 10, so I'm going to say 8. I'm going to say for this one, 10. Yeah, really, really confusing. I'm going to set this one to 15. Okay, so one big thing in this game is getting tools. And tools are used, for some buildings that just need tools to be able to, be built. But every industry, almost every industry, uses tools to increase productivity. So you see here, the little tool icon. If you up this will say for every worker, I'll give them 1 tool. If you up it to 2, every worker, I'll give them 2 tools. And so on and so on. And there's a cap, but maybe I think it's like 8 tools. Some industries are different than others, but 8 tools per worker will give you maximum efficiency in that area. So without having to increase your workforce, you get more out of your workforce. Tools, though, are quite expensive, but in the long run, the amount of productivity they generate is well worth the cost. Especially if you've already got massive, efficiency into, let's say, farming, and you up all your farmers with those tools, they're going to produce even more. Brilliant. I've noticed, or I say I noticed, I actively looked into it on the market, because I wanted to see, would it be cheaper to make my own tool, even though we're crap at making tools because we're the humans. I say crap again, we're average. Is it cheaper to actually buy in the tools, or to buy in the materials to make the tools and workers? And it's by far much more efficient to buy in the materials to make the tools. You see, 113 coins to make the tools. If we have a look at what it takes to make a tool, you can see in the smithy, it is 2 iron ingots and 3 coal. Well, iron ingots cost 71 coins. You can instantly see there, buying in just the 2 iron ingots alone, we make a loss of 30 coins. And then buying in the coal is 30 coins each. So we make a loss of 60 coins if we are to buy in the materials. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused myself. So it's more efficient to actually buy in the tools, because if we buy in all the materials, again, it's a 60 coin loss. So not only do we have to then buy in the materials, we then also have to have the place built, the smithy built, and we have to have people working there. So it's way more efficient just to buy in the tools. I think I confused myself there, because I think I was at first saying that it wasn't efficient. So ignore what I said. It's more efficient to buy the tools in, because the cost of the 2 iron alone is more expensive than the tools. So again, I'm going to specialize, and this is even confirming even harder to specialize on stuff your race is good at. So in this case, the human race in this game is very, very good at farming and admin. So there's a lot of things I want to buy in. I said I wanted to buy in pottery, furniture, I wanted to buy in clay, and now it's going to be tools. But because I'm going to specialize so heavily into fruit and grain, I can sell so much of that to make all the money. We do already here. Just selling the leather alone, we have made, 9.4 thousand coins on trade. So I'm actually going to create a new one, and I'm going to create one for grain. Because again, I don't want to store the grain. It's going to rot 25% per year. So I don't want it. Let's employ one worker, and we'll sell 100% of the grain. You can also see here, though, food is running out. So we've got no apples. We're low on meats. We obviously aren't using anything. We can't eat the grain. So we've only got 2 days left of food. That doesn't necessarily mean have got 2 days left of food and then that's it. We might be at a baseline where we produce enough meat to just see ourselves over. But what I'm going to start doing is buying in bread. So I'm going to put 1 stock point into bread. And I'm actually now going to create an import building. So it's the opposite of an export. It just automatically imports. I only want 1 for now, because I don't actually find myself importing in many things automatically. Because usually I'm importing stuff like metal to build a new building. So we'll get this import worker done. Gosh, you can see we've already got 54 jobless now. We've already hit our 200 citizens. So we need the apples for the fruit orchard. But we've already, with all these things going, we're already doing fine. And actually, we've filled all our houses. We've got 2 available. Wow, we've got 2 spare. Out of all these new builds, we've only got 2 available. And we've got 40 workers that need... Oh my goodness. Right. I'm going to build more houses down here because there's some good space here and it's pretty crappy farmland, wasn't it? It was all like 40%. So I'm going to build more industry down here anyway. Well, by industry, I mean research. Because as I've just been showing, humans are crap at all these production areas. But we're good at farming. So everything's so much cheaper just to buy... This is what I don't understand. Everything's so much cheaper just to buy the finished product in than buying in the raw materials. It doesn't make any sense in this game. I don't know if it's just because I'm on this map and the seed for the map has been a bit weird, but I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to complain because buying in tools at 117 is not a bad price actually. But yeah, housing. Let me get a house, rotate it, and then I'll get more in. Yeah, so I'm looking at these buildings. You can see the isolation is 100. So I don't know why I had it in my head that it was messing me around before, but now I'm getting way more efficient space out of my housing. Again, it was not the end of the world. Like, all it means is that I spent a little bit more on the wood, and I lost a little bit of space. But it's not like catastrophic. But it's just nice to know early on, at least, that I can build the big houses all in one and not get a penalty for it. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll come back once my little import base is done. So prices are also pretty volatile. We saw before that the price was 6 and 6, then it went to 5 and 5, and now it's at 5 and 4. And bread, which was 6 and 6, is now at 9 and 5, so it's more expensive for me to buy in, but it's still, by far, look at this. 9 coins for bread, fish is 17, fruit 16, meat's 35, 64, 23, you can see bread is by far the cheapest. And I'm pretty sure there is no penalty to bread. I believe it fulfills the same amount of food as any other food source. So I have no idea why it's so cheap on the market. But it is, and it's a great way of boosting your population. So once that bread comes in, I am going to welcome more migrants. We can accept 7 more immigrants. I'll set this up to 300, and we'll be good. But I'm going to end the episode there, guys. We have massively improved our base with massive new expansion to our farming, getting some more services, getting a lot more housing all set up, doing some imports, more services here. Things are going absolutely brilliant here in Castell. So, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I'll see you in episode 4.